Lonely CEO heard "May we have your leftovers" from twin little girls. Then he... The night was unusually cold in the bustling city. Inside the elegant glass windows of a 5-star restaurant, Ethan Cole, a wealthy but lonely CEO, sat at his usual corner table. He was the kind of man who had everything money could buy: luxury cars, sprawling mansions, designer suits, and a corporate empire built on ambition. Yet, as he sat staring at his untouched steak, a hollow emptiness gnawed at him. The laughter of families around him only reminded him of the silence that awaited him at home. Ethan had once been married, but his relentless drive to expand his empire had cost him his marriage and left him estranged from his only son. Success had filled his bank accounts, but loneliness had slowly consumed his heart. He thought he could bury his pain under work, meetings, and expensive dinners, but every night the silence echoed louder. As the waiter placed his bill discreetly, Ethan pushed his plate away, half of the steak, mashed potatoes, and vegetables untouched. Just as he stood to leave, a soft, trembling voice stopped him. "Sir, may we have your leftovers?" Ethan turned and saw 2 little girls, no older than 7. They were twins, thin and shivering in worn-out coats. Their big, pleading eyes looked not at him but at the half-eaten food on the table. His heart jolted. He had seen beggars on the streets before and always ignored them, but this felt different. The restaurant manager rushed forward angrily. "Excuse me, you can't bother our customers here." He tried to drag the girls away, but Ethan raised his hand. "Wait." His usually cold, commanding tone carried a softness that surprised even himself. He knelt down to meet the girl's eyes. "Where's your mother?" he asked gently. The older twin bit her lip, holding her sister's hand tighter. "She's sick. We just wanted some food for her. She hasn't eaten." Ethan felt something pierce his chest, an ache he hadn't felt in years. Slowly, he wrapped up the leftover food and handed it to them. The girls' faces lit up with gratitude as though he had handed them treasure. "Thank you, sir," the younger whispered, clutching the box to her chest. Something about their fragile voices stirred long-forgotten memories of tucking his own son into bed, of reading him bedtime stories before work became his only priority. He couldn't just walk away. "Where do you live?" Ethan asked. The twins hesitated, glancing nervously at each other. Finally, the older one whispered, "Not far. An old building by the river." Against every instinct that told him to stay detached, Ethan followed them out into the freezing night. His polished shoes clicked against the cracked pavement as he trailed the girls through dark alleys until they reached a broken-down apartment building. The stench of mold and dampness hung in the air. The girls led him up creaking stairs into a tiny, dimly lit room. There, on a thin mattress, lay a pale woman coughing violently, their mother. She tried to sit up when she saw Ethan, embarrassed by the sight of a stranger in her home. I'm sorry," she whispered weakly. "My daughters shouldn't have bothered you." But Ethan's throat tightened. This was no bother. This was humanity staring him in the face. He helped the woman sit up and offered her water while the twins unwrapped the leftovers, giving their mother the first bites. The way the girls watched her eat, smiling with relief, broke something inside Ethan. For years, he had fed his loneliness with expensive meals alone, while here was a family who found joy in simple scraps. That night, Ethan didn't go back to his penthouse. He stayed. He listened. He learned that the mother, Maria, once had a steady job, but after falling ill and losing her husband in an accident, life spiraled downward. With no one to turn to, she struggled to raise her daughters, skipping meals so they could eat, working odd sewing jobs when her health allowed. Ethan left only at dawn, but not before making a silent promise to himself. He would not let this family suffer another day. The next morning, Ethan ordered his assistant to arrange immediate medical care for Maria. Within days, she was admitted to a private hospital at his expense. He personally visited to check on her progress. Meanwhile, he ensured the twins had proper clothes, school, supplies, and enough food to last them. At first, Maria resisted. "I can't accept all this. We don't deserve," Ethan interrupted firmly. "You deserve far more than this. Let me help." But it wasn't just about charity. Ethan found himself drawn back again and again. He began taking the twins to school himself, learning their favorite songs, even helping them with homework late at night. Their innocent laughter filled the cracks in his empty soul. For the first time in years, Ethan felt alive, not because of success, but because he mattered to someone. Months passed, and Maria's health slowly improved. The twins grew brighter, stronger, and happier, and Ethan began to change too. The cold CEO, who once only cared about profits, now found himself questioning his company's values. One evening, during a board meeting, he shocked his executives. From today, we'll allocate a percentage of our profits to build shelters and support programs for families in need. No child should have to beg for leftovers. Some executives protested. But sir, this will cut into our revenue, Ethan. Eyes blazed with conviction. What good is revenue if we turn our backs on humanity? I will not build an empire on indifference. The motion passed, and soon, shelters and food programs began opening across the city. His company's reputation soared, not because of wealth, but because of heart. One evening, as the sun set, Ethan sat at the park watching the twins play. Maria joined him on the bench, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You've given us back our lives," she whispered. Ethan shook his head, his voice thick with emotion. "No, you gave me back mine." For the first time in years, he didn't feel like a lonely CEO. He felt like a father again, like a man who had finally remembered what life was about: love, compassion, and second chances. As the twins ran back, laughing and hugging him tightly, Ethan realized something profound. True wealth isn't measured by what you have, but by what you give. Final message for the viewers: this story reminds us that sometimes the smallest voice is a whisper from a hungry child, can awaken the loudest truths in our hearts. Success without compassion is empty. But when we choose kindness, we not only change others' lives, we transform our own.